Hey, so I want to update you guys on something, and I don't even know how to do the intro for it. I don't really know how to say it, but I'm just gonna say it. So let's talk about something I noticed that it was a stereotype I realized it was very true. So recently, Muslim man who was a huge fan of the channel, he followed me on almost every app I have, pretty much a stalker. He sent me a marriage proposal. Didn't really understand how to deal with that myself. Kind of creepy that someone can send you a marriage proposal and they've never once had a cup of coffee with you, but it had the very formal Islamic way. The guy was saying he didn't want to marry a woman from Sudan. He wanted to marry somebody who was, I guess, more Americanized. This person had multiple different tones in their emails, very frantic and bizarre. One minute it would be very Western sounding, next minute just very Eastern sounding, and I found this to be quite strange, and I had to politely reject. I tried to do it the best way I could. The person still didn't get the message, and they still kept harassing me, stalking me, saying their accounts were all hacked, sent me very strange pictures of somebody who wants to come and hurt me or stalk me and end my life and weird things. And it's really bizarre behavior, and I think it stems from a very deep insecurity, and then sent me weird emails how his parents want to put him in an insane asylum. The dude is probably past 30, and he's like, oh, be with me because we're not getting any younger. And it's like, you don't insult a woman calling her old and then say like, oh, be with me, and then said, oh, do you have any members who are still in Philadelphia that I can meet? I found this very strange behavior. Number one, who do you think you are to ask to meet anyone in my family if I've never met you in person, just because you follow me and are obsessed with me on social media? Why would you ask someone to marry you whom you've never had a full conversation with? These are behaviors that are from someone who is Muslim and a man, and I think just someone who isn't socialized very well. And now I understand how women in Western countries are becoming more afraid of Muslim men from third world countries who are stalkers, who are not educated in etiquette and how to deal with women properly. I understand American men have their problems, but honestly, if you told many American men, hey, I'm not interested, guess what? There's so many women, they're going to move on and leave you alone, pretty much. So I noticed that this guy had very oppressive energy. He's just very needy, very psychotic, to the point where, I prayed to Allah. I said, curse him, put him in the deepest parts of hell, and whoever is participating with him to harass me constantly and stalk me like a loser, I hope he goes to the deepest parts of hell and gets tortured for eternity. And that was the first time I've ever really said a very hardcore prayer like that. But it was just the huge inconvenience. And I thought, this is amazing because this person is causing so much drama, and they're not even someone I've met in real life. Just imagine how toxic they are in real life. And then I started kind of appreciating my country, where we have travel bans, we have, great police response time. Women are allowed to have gun rights. We're allowed to protect ourselves from crazy men. And this is, really made me want to be more active in the gun rights discussions, and I'm going to work really hard to make women even more independent, because I think if another woman was to have to deal with this guy, this stalker, she would probably maybe fell for his trickery. I've noticed, this person stalked me and had a long-term game. I think at least 5 months. I think it's been at least 5 months. So this person, their psychotic nature, stalked me and incrementally tried to find a way to find where I was so that they could hurt me. And it's really quite bizarre. So I would like to note that, number one, if any of you are so fragile in your masculinity that you want to hurt a woman simply because she doesn't agree with you, just know that, in America we have pretty good rights for women, okay? And the police response time where I live is very close. I could walk to the sheriff's office, and we don't tolerate that kind of stuff here. We don't tolerate men feeling entitled to women, and it's pretty scary, and it's really, really made me see the opposite example of a good Muslim. Now I understand some of the stereotypes, And I'll still keep the good examples of Habib and Mufti Menk in my mind, but it was a good experience to see the really scary, I mean, I'm not scared. Let's use a better, more accurate word. The more insane, lunatic, psychopathic, needy, incel type of energy, it's really bizarre. It's quite strange. And I think that is something that women should be educated on. And then that's what makes me more nervous when men talk about submit to a man, submit. And it's like, what if I would have submitted to this crazy person who could have really caused harm and drama in my family's life, in my life, my neighbor's life? Why? Just for over Islam? Just because he says he's a Muslim, I'm supposed to just bow to him? The dude was an insane person. I hope he leaves my Patreon. He's still a Patreon member. I hope he... I tried to report him on Patreon. There's not an option to block someone on there that I figured out yet, but I blocked him on Minds and Instagram. I do have a feeling that the dude is still going to stalk me on YouTube and Vimeo. Probably he's going to keep stalking in the shadows, but that's quite pathetic. Quite utterly pathetic. And I think more women should be aware of this type of behavior. If you're a man and you're trying to propose to a woman through email who you've never met face to face, maybe this is an Islamic tradition, but that is quite insane. And for any person who's American, that is like another level of danger. And I'm starting to see the darker side, and it's really starting to be quite creepy. And you guys can focus a lot on the women. Oh, a woman has a job. Oh, she wants you to help cleaning. She wants you to help change diapers. If you're really into trying to put women into their place, but you're not protecting women from crazy men and trying to teach them, I think you're part of the problem, and you're part of making a bad image for your religion. Because I'm kind of glad now that I took my time to really learn about Islam, because if that's a normal practice and there's all these words that people are using, I don't know what they mean. And it's like, hey, I better really make sure that I understand who's telling the truth, who's not, who's making things up, and who's trying to halalize their behavior when it's really toxic as something Islamic when it's not. And that is quite scary. And I think it's really scary how, coupled with that type of psychopathic behavior where someone wants to hurt a woman simply because she enjoys exercising, she's not going to take abuse, she doesn't want you. It's like you have to teach Muslim men how to be rejected, and the sense of entitlement is something that's quite scary. So I think that's something that the male community in Islam needs to focus on. Is you guys, I now I kind of see it now that I've gotten experience with it, and I don't know how to make this person go away. It's like, wow. Now I really understand what these people were saying, and now I support freedom of speech even more, because even the critics of Islam, I want to know what they're saying so that I can be prepared with how I can deal with a stalker who's belonging to a religion, or any religion, quite frankly. Yeah, I know that the incel alt-right weirdos, some of them are very fanatical Christians and they act the same, but those get dealt with accordingly. But the Islamic ones was a little bit more freaky because they seem more determined, filled with hate, vicious hate. I think that they don't like seeing a woman strong at all, and they get very intimidated by it. And I also noticed something with Philadelphia Muslims is that a lot of them were former gang members, and then they want to become part of Islam so that they can have a bunch of ladies and continue their thuggery, even though they cleaned up their language. And I have to watch out for that. I live in Philadelphia. I saw that, and it seems that there's certain patterns that reign true. But women, don't listen to anyone who tells you shouldn't own a gun. Don't listen to anyone who tells you shouldn't know how to fight. Anyone who tries to make you weaker in an age where men are this psycho, simply over apps and stuff, you need to protect yourself. Don't listen to any man who tells you that, oh, you will be safe, we'll protect you. No. Protect yourself. Love the police. Love the military. Love the strong men in your family. I do have a bodyguard, and everyone has been notified. And if anyone ever tries to do anything, number one, I know all my rights. Number two, I am not afraid of certain aspects of altercations, having grown up in bad places, and I will throw the book at you. I will throw the book at you. That means I will use every legal outlet known to humans to ruin your life, to put you behind bars. I will not allow it. So Don't think that you can scare me and intimidate me into liking you. And the behavior of this person was quite interesting because first they were very complimentary, very like flowery. And then once I started to reject this person, they got more psychotic, more needy, told me I was going to go to the deepest part of hells for being a hypocrite. Just very strange behavior. They gave me these weird Sufi things, like oh, you're this level of Sufism. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't care what you're talking about. I don't understand. But this person was just quite psychotic, very fundamentalist. So I think it's definitely a fundamentalist. And that's the energy I think that people are worrying about, is when you deal with the fundamentalist who has this third world mentality, coming to a first world nation and then harassing first world women because they are not willing to submit and obey to them automatically. This is something that's quite scary to see as a rational person. And I think that the Muslim community really needs to start focusing on that, while you guys are focusing on dominating women, putting them in their places, putting them down, getting mad over dishes and laundry and stuff like that. There's men now who are flooding into other countries and who are causing problems. I mean, that's a big problem to me. And I'm going to apologize to everyone in the beginning who I said was wrong. I told them that wouldn't happen. I'm wrong. Clearly, I need to be more careful. I need to be more careful who I talk to, who I believe, because some people are so needy in their lust that they go off the rails, and it's quite freaky and not normal. And if any of you see that type of harassment on any of my platforms, please report that person. I encourage you all to block that person. We all have to, especially as women, we have to come together and protect each other and honor each other, and we have to be careful. I mean, some men think that lifestyle works because of the adult entertainment industry and how easy it is to, pay women for stuff and stuff like that. But again, you shouldn't send threats to people. You should grow up and learn how to, take rejection. You should learn to love your family and have better priorities. If a woman has rejected you more than 2 times, you need to move on. And there's so many good people in the world. And to both of those men who keep harassing me, I really feel bad for your mother, and I really feel bad for your father, because you're a disgrace to your family. I mean, it's really just strange behavior. And I hope that you get on some good medication. I hope the authorities find you and they put you in an institution where you belong. And may God have mercy on the woman who marries you, because she may not have any idea what she's getting into. May Allah have mercy on her, and repent, both of you, for your harassment. But you taught me a very valuable lesson. There was I don't remember if it was a hadith. It must have been in Bukhari. But it was like, don't have a super soft tone with men. And I thought this is interesting because some might get the wrong idea. Now, men on the other people's channels complain that women are being too masculine, too forward. They need to be softer and more nurturing. But I tried to do that, and that made the stalker even more bold, because he thought I was weak like a lamb and could just try to push his energy onto me. But now I see, no, I'm going to be more strict, more forward, more of putting my shield up and keeping myself safe, because some men truly, they don't know how to act. They haven't been socialized by their mothers, and their mothers were not socialized by their mothers. And then they come to countries where there's a different way of acting, and it's quite strange. So I really want you guys to know that. And all you women out there, take a self-defense class, carry pepper spray, have brass knuckles. Don't believe any man who laughs at you, scoffs at you. Work out every day, get your strength, keep your body in shape, eat healthy, and beware of men who are sexually frustrated, because I think they really are the most dangerous. And I didn't believe 100% that we had a sort of incel problem, that we had a sort of domestic abuse problem, a machismo, male energy problem. We do, and I was wrong, and I apologize to everyone who I didn't believe. I knew we had some problems in our cultures, but apparently there's more work that needs to be done. And I have to say, the Islamic machismo is a lot more scarier than the gangbanger ones, because the Muslim ones seem to be more needy. They don't want to let go. They use their religion as a way to romanticize things. I mean, this guy told me he had dreams about me. It was very strange behavior. I mean, it's quite weird, and I am very thankful that Allah gave me a sign inside my heart. You know, gave me that feeling that this person isn't normal. That, I mean, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. That's why it's good to study psychology. It's good to have a suspicious mind, a cautious mind, to not trust everyone who beautifies words, and to not submit to someone who oppresses you with their energy. Ladies, be careful out there. Fathers, if you're not teaching your daughter self-defense, you're making her weak, and you're offering up her as a lamb to the slaughter for men who are mentally ill and need medication and should be institutionalized. There is a point where you have to realize you guys have a problem. I've never seen this kind of behavior, and it's distinctly Islamic, and I think it's a problem, and I'm going to voice it, and I don't really care who gets mad, because my safety comes first, my family's safety comes first. But you guys gotta start making videos on that. I mean, it's really strange. I don't know how you guys do it, but something's got to be done. So, yeah.